guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. So for today's video, I will do a tutorial in chapter 2. So chapter 2 is configure a network operating system. So every computer requires an operating system to function, including computer-based network devices such as switches, router, access point, and firewalls. So you have to, in this chapter 2, we will um, configure configuring a network operating system, such as here the switches and device, routers, access point, and firewalls. This network device use an operating system called network operating system. A network operating system enables device hardware to function and provide an interface for user to interact. The CCNA course of study. Students learn to configure both devices that connect to the network, and devices such as PC, and then device that connects network together, intermediate devices like routers and switches. So learning to configure the Cisco network operating system and Cisco router switches is a large part of a Cisco CCNA program study. So Cisco network Internetwork operating system is generic term for the collection of network operating system used by Cisco networking devices. Cisco iOS is used for most Cisco devices, regardless for the types of or size. So let's proceed. So here the operating system. So all end device and network devices require an operating system OS, as shown in Figure 1. So here in the Figure 1, the portion of OS interact directly with the computer hardware is known as kernel. So as you can see, we have here a kernel. So kernel communicates between the hardware and software of computer and manage how hardware resources are used to meet software requirements. So the user can interact with the shell using the command line interface, CLI, or graphic user interface. And we will get tracer. So we will open the packet tracer. So I will read it. So we will just a user login, and we will input some here and then we will input the password here. So when using CLI as shown in Figure 2, the user interacts directly with the system in the text-based environment by entering commands and keywords at the command prompt. The system executes a command, often providing text output. The CLI requires very little overhead to operate. However, it does require that the user have knowledge of the underlying structure to control the system. So we have a putty here, and then I will demonstrate to you. So we have here the P3 router, and then I will click the PC, that's the PC, and then I will choose the switches here. So we have here the router, switch, and PC. So I will use any kind of connection. So we have here console, straight through, crossover, fiber for phones, and coaxial, serial, octal, and custom cable, and USB. So we will use for the router and switch, we have here crossover here, and then we will console the switch. So as you can see here, you can console PC to the switch, and then the crossover to the router. So we will use the we can put the CLI. We have no. So as you can see, we will configure the router. So for example, we have in enable config t, and then we will use an host name for R1, for we will change the router to R1. So as you can see, change, and then we will use an service password encryption, and then we have a banner MOTD for message of the day, warning for any, and then we have enable secret password, and then we have here the line console 0 and password Cisco, and then log in, then exit. We have a line VTY 0 to 15 because it has a 16. We have these 16 ports, and then password Cisco, and then log in again, and then exit. So this is the basic configuration for the router or the switch. So we will exit again here. So as you can see, it has a password, so we will not include that. So we will this is the example of the command line interface. You can configure here. As you can see, it has a configuration command line interface. Here we will exit that, and then we will proceed. So the purpose of OS network operating system are similar to PC operating system through GUI, a PC operating system. Enables the user mouse to make selection and run programs, enter text and base commands, view points on a monitor. CLI based on network operating system like the Cisco IOS switch and router that I demonstrate to you. Use a keyboard to run CLI based network, and use keyboard to enter text and text-based commands, so view output on monitor. So as you can see, we have here we use the console in the PC to the switch, and then for the console, advantage of using console port is that the device is accessible even if no networking services. So as you can see, and I demonstrate to you, it has a console, but it has not it has a green, it has a red light because we will not put some IP in the PC, so that it has a green, it has a red light. So here the SSH is recommended method for remote management because it has provides secure connection. SSH provides encrypted password authentication and transported session data. So I demonstrate to you the SSH. So Telnet best practice dictates to use SSH instead of for Telnet, remote managed CLI connections is requires Telnet and client that can be established Telnet session. So all these three that I will demonstrate to you in the packet tracer, it's already done. And let's proceed to the some activity in chapter 2. So we have here the console, telnet, SSH, and aux. So activity access method. So we will answer this. You are in the equipment room with a new switch that needs to configure. So we will use a console because console is the best way for you to connect the new switch for a new switch to the end device that needs to configure. And then your manager gives you special cable and tells you to use the configure the switch. So we will again use the console cable. This is the first again, this is the first step for you to configure the switch or router. So we will use the console. So you access the iOS by using another intermediary device over a network connection. So we will use a Telnet and SSH. So um, the as I said, intermediate device is like a router or switch over a network connection. So we will use that telnet. So you call your manager to tell him you cannot access your router in another city over the internet. So he provides you with the information to access the router through telephone connection. So we will click here the aux. So aux is the um, information for you to use a any gadgets or telephone connection. So it has a different from the console and telnet SSH. So it's already done. So we will check it if it is correct. So all answer is correct. So I hope you enjoy my video and thank you for watching.